Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's educational presentation, where today we're going to be talking about next level breakout trading. This is a specific way in which to trade. A lot of traders like to trade breakouts, but for those of you who are not familiar with breakout trading is, let's go to the standard definition, okay? Basically, a breakout refers to when the price of an asset moves above a resistance area. And conversely, a breakdown refers to when the price of an asset moves below a support area. So what we're really looking at are support and resistance. That's really all we're talking about. The trouble is, it's not as cut and dry as simply looking for support and resistance. Support and resistance is very subjective. I've always said one trader's support is another trader's resistance. So it's very difficult to figure out exactly where those areas are. On top of that, there are a lot of negative things and aspects with trading support and resistance. For example, let's look at this chart here in Lulu. All right, someone looking at this just off bat would say, okay, obviously there's resistance right there. We're trying to get through and we can't. So that website tells me if we bust through here, I'm going to buy. Okay, should be simple enough, right? But then look what happened. It gapped up, broke through the resistance like a knife through butter. Now, it's a little bit too high to buy. It's already gone up a good 40 points. So you say to yourself, well, I can't buy here, but it's a really good stock. So I'll wait for it to pull back, to come back and fill this gap, and then I'll buy it. So you're really excited about it coming lower, and it never does. In fact, it continues to go higher and higher. Okay, so that's one negative aspect. Here's another one. Let's look at an older chart of Moderna. Obviously, in this aspect in March, we didn't like this stock. You don't like it at all. It's really falling out of bed. But it starts to firm up, but you're still not convinced the stock is okay. So you say to yourself, okay, listen, here's the support right here where it stopped. If it breaks down below, I'm going to sell my shares and I'm going to actually think about going short. All right. So it does eventually fall out of bed. So you say to yourself, okay, I'm getting out and I'm going to go short because it's basically broken some good support. But look what happened in the following weeks. It went down a little, but then it's going back and it's even higher than where you sold it. So support doesn't really work here. And then you also have examples like this. This was in the spiders, the ETF that represents the S&P 500 index. All right, this is looking back at the beginning of the year. Obviously, there was some so-called resistance right here, right? So you tell yourself, okay, I want to buy it, but I want to get confirmation that it closes above this resistance. And then right here in mid-May to the beginning of June, we have 3 consecutive closes. So that's enough confirmation for you to buy. So you jump in and buy, you're all excited. There's going to be a big rally in the market, or so you've been told. And then look what happens. Go straight down, right? So now you've got a big loss on your hands. You're getting a little scared. You say to yourself, I can't hold on to this big loss, so I'm just going to get out and take my loss and just kind of, watch and see what happens. So you sell, and then the minute you sell, this happens. It actually does go up. So you see there are some certain negative aspects about trading off support and resistance. You can get in too soon, you get in too late. It doesn't seem to pan out as well. So this leaves a lot of traders really not liking the type of results with standard support and resistance or breakout trading. And you ask yourself, is there a breakout indicator designed to identify these true breakout and breakdown areas? Well, this is what we're going to be talking about today. And you'll see on our platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform, that there actually is a tool that can help you identify these secret breakout areas. So this promises to be a great educational presentation. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Steven Primo, President and Founder of Specialist Trading. For those of you who are new to our educational webinars that we give once a week, a little bit of background about myself. I've been trading now for 46 years. I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist. So that's where we get the name specialist trading. A specialist doesn't mean that you're any more special than anyone else. It just means that you basically specialized in making markets in a number of stocks. So in the old days, if you wanted to buy or sell a stock, you'd call your floor broker, and the floor broker would walk up to the trader who specialized in making a market. So that's what I did roughly for 9 years. I specialized in making markets in IBM, US Air, Waste Management. I traded through the crash and made markets during the crash of '87 and the bull market that followed. And then I left the floor in the mid-90s to manage money and to also teach and to pursue my own trading career. So in my 46 years of trading, in my experience, I've seen just about every system, every trading technique, every method. I know what works in terms of consistency, and I know what doesn't. So that's the service we provide at Specialist Trading. That's why I teamed up roughly about 13 or 14 years ago with Pro Trader Strategies with one goal in mind, and that was simply to educate traders. And you'll see that in today's educational presentation. We just want to share with you all the things that actually work and share with you tools, techniques, and strategies that will hopefully elevate your trading to the next level. And so you'll see that in today's educational presentation when we talk about breakout trading. But before we begin, as always, we are required to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using this new breakout tool, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And since we are, first and foremost, an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, I see a lot of new faces in today's educational presentation. So if you haven't done so already, please feel free to follow us on Twitter. There's our handle right there. I would suggest copying that down because every day I post roughly about 5 or 6 different snapshots or examples of trades that are strategies or techniques generated signals on. I also give little bits of financial wisdom. So there's lots of great free education on a daily basis if you follow us on Twitter. So please feel free to follow us there. Now, remember, we are, as we stated in the opening statements, an educational company. That's our only goal. We're a little bit different from other webinars. If you haven't seen us speak before, you're not going to hear me talk about what I think the market's going to do. Did it top out or is it bottoming out? What's the best stock to buy? What time frame should I trade? You see, we've all been trained to ask someone those questions. But when you ask someone those questions, what are you basically saying? You're saying, I don't know how to do it, so I'll let you decide for me. Think of any other career, any other endeavor. Think of an airline pilot saying, hey, how do you think I should land this plane? Or think of a brain surgeon asking a nurse, hey, how do you think I should operate? It would be silly, right? But for some reason, it's perfectly okay with traders. It's all right to go to a chat room and find out what everyone else is doing, find out how you should trade. It's okay to listen to the guys on TV and find out what they think of the market and trade alongside with them. Or it's okay to wait for the earnings to come out and say, okay, well, that's good, so I guess I should buy, right? You see, when you do those things, you're automatically taking yourself out of the game. And this is the number one reason why most traders fail. You're allowing someone or something else to make your trading decisions for you. Now, see, at Specialist Trading, we don't do that. You see, my goal as a mentor is to teach you how to trade so that you can make your own trading decisions. This is the same way I was taught some 46 years ago by my mentors. They were specialists on the floor. This is the specialist edge that has sustained me now for 46 years, and hopefully it will be able to do the same for you. So you have to get to that point where you no longer rely on some blog or some chat room or some guy on TV, but you rely on your own simple plan that has stood the test of time, that works, and you make your own trading decisions. The one question you should never ask is, hey, what do you think of the market? Or what do you think of this stock? Or what do you think of this time frame? Those are all things you have to answer on your own. That's the only way you'll become a consistent trader, not by relying on someone else to tell you what to do. That's why at Specialist Trading, we don't have chat rooms. We don't have trading rooms. We never put out signals of things that you should trade. We teach you high probability trading methods and strategies so that you can make your own decisions. That's what we're all about. And you'll see that in today's educational presentation. Okay. Now, before we begin, just a few announcements. We have a good crowd here today. I want you to ask me as many questions as possible, but please wait till the end of class to ask. I promise I'll get to each and every one of them, but I think I have roughly about 130 slides to share with you, and I don't want to stop at each slide to answer a question. Many times, if you wait till the next slide, your question will be answered, okay? So please write it down and try to remember what your question is. Also, this is being recorded, so if you have to leave early or if you're having technical issues, don't worry. We will send each and every one of you a link to this recording so you can watch it over and over again at your own leisure, okay? All right, with that stated, let's begin today's educational presentation. Now, remember, we started out by asking the question, what if there was a breakout indicator designed to identify true breakout and breakdown areas? Well, here's the good news. There is. This is our brand new trading tool we're really proud of. I developed with Pro Trader Strategies. It's called the PSBI, which stands for the Primo Secret Breakout Indicator, okay? But to make things simpler, we won't have to say that every time. I'm just going to refer to it as the PSBI. Now, let me share with you some of the highlights and what's behind this really, really great tool here. First of all, it's developed and designed on an everyone out of the pool concept. Now, I talked about this in my book that I wrote roughly about 15 years ago, where I talked about how my mentors taught me actually how some of the best and most advantageous setups are when everyone is out, when the sellers are out of the market or when the buyers are out. So this is when some of the best setups can be generated, but you still have to add structure to that. So we designed this tool to identify breakouts. We want to get these true breakout areas because everyone is looking basically at the same breakout or breakdown, right? It's either some type of a top or resistance or some type of a bottom. But that's too simple. And we just saw through those examples how there really isn't a high level of consistency there. So what we did was we developed a proprietary indicator. We're keeping the rules and all the concepts in-house because it's a little complicated, but that's okay. The secret to actually trading with this is in knowing how to apply it and when to apply it. Now you can apply it to actually any market and in any direction. So many times I've gone to webinars myself. Well, I've seen someone talk about this new system. It works tremendously, but it only works on a 15-minute time frame of the spiders. Okay, you can't trade it on anything else. Or if you want to trade it on another market, you have to purchase an entirely different method. Okay. We don't believe in that. If something works in one market, it should be able to work in all markets. So if you're a futures trader, if you're a currency pair trader, if you trade cryptos, if you trade commodities, it makes no difference. And here's the best thing also we've discovered through our development stages, that it can also be used as a stop placement. In other words, let's say you're long a position. We know a lot of traders don't like to go short. They don't feel comfortable, and that's okay. Remember, as we said in the beginning, it's your decision. We're never going to tell you how to trade or that you have to take this setup. But if you happen to see one of these PSBI sell setups, well, you can use that as a stop placement to get out of your trade. So there's lots of great and interesting ways in which to apply it. All right, let me share with you the trading process because it's extremely simple. But let me share with you how you can apply it, and you'll only be able to see and apply this trading process on our platform. So let's look at that chart in Lulu we looked at earlier, okay? That we would have missed that trade if we used the standard support and resistance breakout, right? But here's what we do on our platform. We go up to the green strategy tab levels here, and we find PSBI, all right? Now you click that on, and in the drop-down menu, click on Buy Area. It's as simple as that if you're interested in buying this. And right here, where this colored area is, this is the secret breakout entry point. Once price trades above, that's where you want to enter. So why would you have had to wait for this point right here, good 20, 30 points higher, and then miss it altogether when you could have purchased it well below that, close to the very bottom of the range? You see how simple this is? Here's another example. Remember we looked at Moderna, all right? There was that so-called support where you wanted to exit your position, and you exit, but then only to find weeks later, it's right back up even higher. You say to yourself, why did I get out of this? Or how come I get out at such a lousy level? All right. Once again, if you're thinking about looking at this as a seller's point of view, click on the PSBI. In the drop-down menu, click on Sell Area, and you'll identify the secret breakout or breakdown area to the sell side. That would have been right here. So once it traded below that breakdown, see, we're looking for a breakdown below this colored block, not here. This is the true breakdown below this colored area. Don't you think you would have much rather had sold, or if you were using this as a stop placement, exited your positions, and you would have missed all this downward movement? Lastly, looking at that example in the spiders, okay? It broke out for 3 days. It closed above the resistance. You got long, and then it immediately went lower. You got scared, you got out, and then immediately went back up, right? This is the trouble with trading with support and resistance. It's a little bit too jumpy back and forth. There's a lot of whipsaw areas. It's not as cut and dry as simply applying the PSBI, clicking on Buy Area, and seeing how cut and dry this is. Right towards the lows of this sell-off, this was the PSBI breakout entry point. Don't you think you would have much rather have purchased it here and ridden this all the way up? So this is how simple it is to apply it. So let's look at some recent PSBI examples, okay? And remember, everything you're seeing is displayed on our platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies. This is the only place you'll be able to identify these secret breakout areas. All right, so we're looking at PCAR. All right, obviously there was resistance right here. This would have been simple if you're following the standard point of trading breakouts. You would have purchased it right here. But if we applied the PSBI, wouldn't you rather purchase it down here? And you could have potentially captured 18 points all the way up coming into mid-July. How about the resistance right here in team? All right. So you tell yourself, I'm not going to buy till we break out of this. So we broke out, we gapped up above. Let's say you did buy it on the opening, roughly about 212. Well, look what happened. It closed roughly 10 points lower. So not only are you in, but now you're in with a loss. And you're saying to yourself, why did I do this? And you think, well, that blog I read every day says if it opens above there, you've got to buy it, right? Wouldn't you have rather used the PSBI and purchased it right here? Okay, much lower, where you could have actually potentially captured 40 points. And maybe if you wanted to, you could have sold on the opening right there. Here's another example, ILMN. All right, stock is going up. All right, goes up, comes down, makes a little support here. You say to yourself, okay, well, I'm long this. I'm going to get out. You basically bought it right here. So you say, well, I'll break even if it breaks below the support. And it does. It breaks below. So you break out. So you get out of your trade basically unchanged. You didn't make anything. But wouldn't you have rather used the PSBI as a stop loss? Because you could have exited right here, a good 15 points higher roughly, and taken a nice profit before it fell out of bed. Now, if you wanted to go short, you could have potentially captured 30 points to the downside. All right, let's look at NXPI. The stock broke out, came back, kind of made some support here, made a double bottom, then broke down below it. And now the support is now the resistance. It can't go above until right here. It's a full close above the resistance. So you say to yourself, okay, it's going to go higher. And well, look what happened. You see, this is the trouble with trading the standard way, the conventional way to trade breakouts and breakdowns. They really don't have a high level of consistency. Wouldn't you have rather have waited for the PSBI to generate a breakout entry right here, and potentially you could have captured 55 points to the upside? All right, now you can also have resistance on a downside move, meaning that it has a kind of a sloping downward resistance, okay? Can't break through here, can't break through here. So this is a downward slope resistance. So conventional wisdom tells you that once it closes, breaks out and closes above here, this is where the breakout is. Now, it doesn't have to be a double top resistance, all right? So let's see what happened. Opened above and closed above. So you've got a full-fledged breakout, right? Using standard conventional ways of trading. So you jump in to buy, and look what happens. How well does that work? You see, this is why so many traders are frustrated with conventional ways of trading breakouts, because they really don't work a lot. There's what we call fake out breakouts. And right here is a perfect example. It faked you out and then went right back down lower. What if you used the PSI? Well, you would have waited, and the PSBI gave an entry point right here when it traded above this breakout of this kind of turquoise block here. And there you could have gone long and potentially captured 40 points. Let's look at Apple. All right, this is an older chart. And obviously, Apple was hitting some resistance here in March. Then in close to April, beginning of April, it had consecutive closes above. So standard conventional wisdom tells us to go long. And we see here that that would have been the right thing to do coming into the beginning of August. All right. But look what the PSBI did. It generated a buy much lower. You could have gotten in if you like the stock. This is the true breakout. Remember, that's what the PSBI does. It identifies these true breakout areas, not the worn out conventional support and resistance. Now, we've all known that Apple has really suffered in the last week or so. This is coming into the first week of August. Well, look what the PSBI did. If you wanted to click on the sell area, it actually generated a sell trigger right here. All right, so that was the breakdown area, and this was the first week of August. And when I took the snapshot, it had fallen down 10 points. Well, obviously, Apple was a lot lower as of yesterday or today. So you see how you could hold this and just wait for the breakdown area to be generated and then use that as your exit or your stop placement. There's lots of great ways to apply this. Let's look at SMPS. Okay, obviously, there's resistance right here. You say to yourself, well, you know, I bought that $10,000 course on support and resistance, and they have this great tool that tells me where the big money is and all the institutions. They're all selling right here, so I'm not going to buy until we close above there and break out. All right. Well, look what the PSBI did. It says we don't base anything off support and resistance. We don't base anything off, institutional money. I mean, that's silly. There's really low levels of consistency when you trade off those things. It's much better to base it off market behavior, because many times you'll get a setup before, as we did right here. And look what happened. You could have potentially captured 75 points. So why wait for this when this is the true breakout area down here? All right, now if you trade the euro-dollar currency pairs, here's a weekly chart. Now, obviously, for the last 2 years on a weekly time frame, the euro-dollar has been going straight down. If you had tried to buy this all the way down, looking for a bottom, looking for a breakout, you would have lost a lot of money. But the PSBI generated in October of last year a breakout entry right here, and so far it's gained roughly about 1,200 pips. That's thousands and thousands of potential dollars you could have gained just purchasing using the PSBI. Now that's on a weekly time frame. Here's a 4-hour chart of the Australian dollar going back to mid-July, just about 3 weeks ago. Obviously, we're in a strong uptrend, right? Everyone's real bullish. But if you applied the PSBI, look at right here at the very top, it was telling you this is a breakdown area. If you're bullish and you don't like to go short, well, I would recommend, this is the indicator talking, not me. I would recommend putting a stop here and exiting. Or if you're more an aggressive trader, the indicator would be telling you to go short, because look what happened. It fell 360 pips coming into the first week of August, okay? So it makes no difference what market. We just looked at the 2 different time frames in the currency pairs. It makes no difference which direction. Here's a chart in FTNT, Fortnite. All right, let's say you're long this. You say to yourself, okay, gosh, I got a nice profit here. Here's support. And then it continues to go in your favor. So you say, that's great. Now move the support up, right? All right, so this is where I'll get out, probably have a nice little profit. And then it continues to go up. So you're all excited. And you say, well, the support now is right here. So you're all excited. You say, well, I'll have a profit. If it comes down, I'll get my exit right here. But would you rather use the PSBI and use this as your exit point? Because that was the breakdown entry according to the PSBI. And you could have taken advantage of that. And as we see here, once it did break down, if you had used this support to exit, look what would have happened. You would have had to exit on the opening, and you would have missed and given back all of your profit that you had made earlier. So this is why the PSBI is so good, and we've had such amazing results from our students who are new to trading this, because it can get you in and out at times early, okay? Not guaranteeing every time, but there's so many examples, and students have told us how it's done this in the past. Let's look at ODFL. Now let's go through the process. All right. Let's say you like this. All right. You like this a lot. And you say to yourself, well, I went to that chat room and I watched that guy on TV. He says there's major resistance here. So I don't really want to do anything until it breaks out above that resistance. I like the company, but it doesn't look too good right now. But if you apply the PSBI, click on buy area, and guess what? It's already got you long, because it already broke out here roughly about the 306 area, 307. And you could have potentially captured 120 points coming into the end of July, beginning of August. Now, obviously, if you had waited for this, sure, it would have been a good trade, but you would have not made, or potentially made, as much as 120 points, maybe only half of that. Okay, so let's review what we shared with you today. Remember, the PSBI is based on this concept called everyone out of the pool. As you just saw, in fact, let me just go back and explain. As we looked at this, all of the sellers were out of the pool. If I go back a few more slides here, all the sellers were, or I should say the buyers were out of the pool. The sellers were the ones dominating. And so this is where the buyers are frightened and they're out of the pool entirely. So this is why they don't like to buy at this point, because they're scared, they're frightened. Buyers and sellers feel much better when they're in their own group, when they have the comfort of others around them, all right? But the PSBI works entirely opposite of that. It basically makes all its decisions based on market behavior. And even though the buyers are out of the pool, it will generate setups telling you that's okay because this is a very opportune place to get in. And now, as we can see, the buyers went back into the pool and the sellers were out of the pool. So at this time, the PSBI is probably looking for the indicator to come up with the requirements to look for some type of a breakdown scenario. So this is what we mean when we talk about everyone out of the pool concept. And we developed this and we designed it to identify true breakout areas. The reason why is because we don't feel that the standard breakout and breakdown areas are sufficient enough to really help you. As we just saw, there's so many times you're either getting in too late, you're giving away a lot of your profit because you missed most of the big move, or you're getting in and it's a fake out breakout. The minute you get in, it goes the opposite direction. So that's not the true breakout. So we developed this proprietary indicator to help you identify these true breakout and breakdown areas. And the good news is you can apply it to any market in any direction. We shared with you stocks. We also showed you how you can apply it to currency pairs. 4-hour charts, weekly charts, makes absolutely no difference. And then lastly, you can use it as a stop placement. If you're long and you don't like to go short and you see a breakdown area, well, you can apply that as your sell area, or you could simply just say to yourself, well, listen, I'm not going to sell here, but I'll just keep in mind that it may be breaking down soon, and I'll just be very concerned that if it does start to act lousy, I'll exit and get out with my profit. It's just lots of ways to apply this. Now, ask yourself, just off the short amount of examples I share with you, do you think the new PSBI can help your trading for the remainder of 2023? We just introduced this just roughly about a month ago. We're already getting rave reviews from our students who are using it right now. We have a great offer for all of you attending today and for all of you taking time out of your Wednesday. We're going to offer you and introduce the PSBI, our Primo Secret Breakout Indicator, and give you a great discount, okay? This is our non-conventional breakout tool. It generates a lot of setups, so you'll never have to be, a lot of students say, well, I purchased this $10,000 system, and I'm sitting there waiting for signals to be generated. It's been a month now, and I haven't gotten anything. Well, this will generate a lot of setups in a lot of different markets and a lot of different directions. You can apply it to breakouts as well as breakdowns, any market, any time frame, apply as a stop loss. You can scan for daily setup. So now everything you've seen right now has been displayed using the PTS Primo Charting Platform. So because of this, we're going to throw in a special discount. We have an extra bonus included with our discount on the PSBI. We're going to throw in a full year free, absolutely free. You're going to save over $1,700 if you become a student of mine in the PSBI course. You'll get a full year free of the platform, and this just doesn't include the PSBI. You'll get the PSBI signal scanner as well, where you can scan for nightly setups that were just generated on the close of that day. You'll also get our enhanced buy-sell line. This is a unique way of finding out what the overall trend is in any market or time frame. You'll also get our strength of trend tool, a great way to find out if a trend is running out of steam or not. Auto-generated exit levels, personalized tech support from our tech support department. But here's the thing I'd like to talk about, because this is really an extra bonus. This is our PSBI price projection. This you can only get, once again, on our platform. Let me share with you how it works. All right, as we look at this example here in ATVI, once you get a breakout entry area, a secret area here, as you see that colored block, and you could have entered right there. All right, a lot of students will say, well, I'm not sure where to get out. Now, we teach you different exit placements in the course, but one way to monitor is by using our price projections. What a lot of students do is use this as some type of barometer, some type of area to feel as if where the stock or market you're trading may go. Let me show you how simple it is. Click on the PSBI, and instead of clicking on the buy area, what you want to do is click on buy PP. That's the buy price projection. And this is just simply a projection. It's not an exit level, although you can use it as one. It's a projection of where this signal should go. And right here, once you click that on, it's roughly a good 11 points higher. Now, you can use this as some type of a benchmark. Say to yourself, okay, well, once it gets up there, I'll start using my own exit techniques. Or once it gets up there, maybe I'll just use this 89.25 as my exit level. Now, it doesn't give a time frame for this. It doesn't say it's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but it is projecting through our research that most likely it'll get to that point. And look what happened. It took a matter of weeks, but it eventually got there up to that level, okay? Here's another example. This just happened just roughly about a week ago. This was in Square Inc., okay, SQ. a breakdown entry was generated. All right, now you could have used this as a stop placement, but let's say you wanted to go short the stock, okay? It's basically a $75 stop. Let's say you wanted to go short, but you don't know where you think it can go. This is where our price projection come in handy. Once again, click on PSBI. Instead of clicking on the sell area, click on sell price projection. And right here, you'll see through our research and use of this, we've studied this for about a year, we see that this is a price projection. Once again, just a benchmark. It's not generating a prediction. It's not telling you that it's guaranteed it will get here, but this is just something to use as a benchmark that it should come around this price, all right? And it doesn't give a time frame. It may be like weeks, like you saw in the last example. It may be in one day. But this meets your need. You have the same opinion. You say, yeah, I think it can go down to that level, roughly about 12 points. And look what happened in the next 3-4 days. This was just taken yesterday, okay? So it got down there in that short amount of time. See how simple this is? You'll only get this on the PTS Primo Charting Platform. And remember, should you decide to become a member of the PSBI course, you're getting the platform absolutely free for a full year. That's a nearly $1,800 saving. Trust me, our students have told us in the past, but a year from today, you will have wished you became a member of the PSBI course. Take advantage of this great offer. Okay, let's break it down. Now, the PSBI secret breakout indicator, the course usually runs close to $5,000, $49.95. We're going to discount that by 10%, down to $44.95. You're going to save $500. But we're going to take it an extra step. We're going to also apply payment plans for a limited time. So what this means is that you don't have to come up with $44.95. You can come up with just a small fraction of that amount, establish a payment plan with Pro Trader Strategies, and still be up and running with the PSBI and a full year of the platform as early as today. That's how simple it is. So whether you decide to pay in full at $44.95 with a $500 discount, or whether you decide to take the payment plan, either way, you're still going to get a full year, full 12 months free of the platform. Okay? So that's how great this offer is. Here's how to take advantage of it. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're my sister site. They're in charge of all the discounts, all the pricing, as well as all the tech support. They can answer your questions along those categories. I would highly recommend giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. They would be happy to answer any question you have, or they'd be happy to give you a quote over the phone so that you could think about it. But remember, this is for a limited time only, before the price goes back up to that roughly $5,000 and before they stop applying the payment plans. Now, that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. You can actually sign up online if you'd like. It's not a live link. You have to copy and paste that. But if you go to your webinar chat box there, if you see right there in that little link, it says chat, click on that icon there and you'll see a link that has been posted. It's a live link. And you can click that on and we'll take you to that sign up page and that info page, okay? Now, I promised you the last 10 or 15 minutes of the presentation would be reserved for questions. So if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. Let me see. It's, let's see. Someone says, I see it's only painting on the initial entry. Is that typical? When you say, I'm not sure what you mean initial entry, when you say painting. Now, one thing I have to tell you is that this will not repaint. In other words, once it generates a block, either a secret buy block or a secret sell block, and price starts to trade, it's not going to reformat and say, well, no, the block disappeared and now it's no longer there, or now it's a different block. Now it's going off a different price. No, once you actually use that, you're either going to enter into that block and you'll have a successful trade, or using what we teach you in the course, you'll have a minimal loss, okay? Because maybe it doesn't work out, because it's a consistent method, but not every trade's a winner. All right, so once you get stopped out, it'll wait to see if another setup happens at a better level. What we've noticed is that in those times when it does get stopped out, maybe once, maybe twice, usually what happens is that the next one is generally the winner, not guaranteed, but generally, and it'll make back what you lost in those last couple of losses, okay? So once again, this is just what our students have reported back to us. It's not guaranteed, but this is what we mean by consistent method, okay? Someone's saying, how do I use this with options? Well, basically the same way you would use it with options is just once that level is hit, instead of purchasing the stock, you would just purchase the option that you like. Now, remember, we're not an option class per se, so we're not telling you, okay, you've got to buy the January 150s or you got to sell the April 240s. That's not what we do. We're not that type of a class. What we do is share with you high probability entry points, and then it's up to you to decide how you want to apply them. You can use them actually buying the stock. You can maybe get a signal off an ETF and then buy a stock that's in that ETF that you're interested in, or you can purchase options, but it's entirely up to you. Okay. Let me see if there are any other questions in the question and answer area. Someone's asking, how long does this deal and discount go on? Well, the $500 discount usually lasts for about a good week or so, because we have every week we do a different presentation with a different methodology that is built off completely different requirements. So I would say if you're interested, the best thing is to contact Pro Trader Strategies, and you can just get a quote. They're very flexible. They're not going to try and make you decide today. And just think about it. But remember, you probably have about a week to think about it before that all goes away, and most likely including the full free year of the platform. Okay, so that's the main thing. Someone's saying, and we get your email address, right? That's you must have seen my presentations before. That's probably the most common question I get. People ask, how do I ask any questions? You'll all get my private email address, and all questions will go directly to me. They won't go to tech support. They won't go to an intern or a salesperson. All of your questions go directly to me, and I'm the only one that sees them, so I'll answer them as quickly as possible. Okay. Great question. Now, remember, this is a great tool. If you've seen some stocks break down lately, most likely they were already generated with a PSBI secret breakdown area roughly last week. All right. The spiders, the QQQs. If you go to our Twitter page, I've tweeted a lot of breakdowns using the PSBI lately. So remember, once again, there's a lot of great examples. There's a lot of great things to learn from on our Twitter page. Just look at there. You'll see the great examples and other stocks, things that I didn't talk about today that are completely different markets. So that's why, if you haven't followed us on Twitter, it's really good because you get a lot more different examples, and that may help in answering your questions, or at least determining your decision on whether you want to buy the PSBI or not. Okay. A lot of great examples and lots of great reviews coming back from our students who were the first ones to trade it. Now, if you decide to become a student of mine in the PSBI course, you're going to still be one of the very first ones to trade it, because, like I said, this was just introduced to the public roughly about a month ago. So we're getting some rave reviews, but we still haven't, spent that much time talking about it, other than this is our first presentation after the course. So come on board, take advantage of this. If you're on the fence, just contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're there to work with you. They won't in any way try to force sell you. They'll give you a quote. You can think about it, but please don't set it up for too long, because in a week or so, this offer will be gone. Okay? Okay, good questions. As we close now and take one last look at our disclaimer, I just want to thank you for attending today. I hope you learned something, but I really hope you become a student of mine in the new PSBI course. I really feel it can take your trading to the next level, and you can really see how you can manage your breakout trading and become a consistent trader. Thank you so much for attending today. I wish you all the best of luck and look forward to seeing you in the PSBI class. Bye-bye.